across the correlation to each of the numbers to the 5 elements. Then if we take up number 1, so number 1 relates to the water element. Okay, the number 1 relates to the water element. Similarly, number 9 relates to the fire element. And number 2, 5 and 8 relates to the earth element. The number 3 and 4 relates to the wood element, and the number 6 and the number 7, 6 and 7 combinedly relate to the metal element. Okay, so this is the relation that one should remember as to which numbers relate to which element. Okay, so this is the correlation. Now going ahead, if we see how the numbers are fitted in the Loshu grid, then the sequence goes as, if there are 3 rows and 3 columns, I'll start with the first row on the left hand top side. If someone wants to draw a Loshu grid, they can draw. If they can take a Loshu grid, want to draw a perfect square grid divided into 3 rows and then 3 columns. So starting from the left hand side top, you start with the first square to be 4, then in the center 9 and then 2, 4, 9, 2. The second row will be 3, 5 and 7. So 3, 5, 7, and the last row will be 8, 1, 6. So 8 in the middle 1 and then 6. So this is how a typical Loshu grid the number falls in: 4, 9, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 1, 6. So as we all talked about, the diagonal part, that is 2, 5, 8 would be the earth element. The topmost left part, that is 4 and 3, will be the wood element. The central bottom part, that is 1, that is the water, and the top central part, that is 9, that is the fire element. And the right hand side bottom, that is 6, and the top one 7 would be your metal element. So this is how the numbers fall in and the elements correlates. Why we are looking at the certain elements other than the directions ruling these numbers or this grid? There are these elements also that rule a specific number, and there are certain attributes and properties of these elements also, which also affects the strong parts of a person or the shortcomings of a person. That will learn across in the upcoming lectures. So this is something you should know to go ahead. Okay, other than this, what is important to know is, whenever we look at a date of birth of any client to take a customized Vastu consultation, we need to look at not only the plan of that space but also the date of birth of the person owning that property, right? So if we look at the date of birth of any person, say for example, if we take a date of birth that is 3rd of July 1986, then in the numerology date of birth there is something known as the direct numbers and the indirect numbers. So direct numbers, as the term tells, it are the numbers that directly comes into your date of birth. So if I have taken an example of 3rd of July 1986, then 3, 7, 1, 9, 8, 6. 3, that is the day, 7, that is the month, and 1, 9, 8, 6, 1986, that is the year. All these 6 numbers, 3, 7, 1, 9, 8, 6 are your direct numbers. Okay, so direct numbers is clear. Whichever number comes directly in your date of birth that is visible comes to be the direct number coming in the date of birth Loshu grid. So it will fit across. Then there is something known as the indirect number. Now indirect numbers are something that we don't fill in the Loshu grid, but there are effects of it on the person's strong parts or the shortcomings also. So there are many sorts of indirect numbers that have been taken out as per the Feng Shui Chinese Loshu grid part. Something known as the Kua number, or the number that comes across through your day, that is the date, specific date on which you are born. So if we have taken an example of 3rd of July 1986, then 3 is the main number that they consider. Now sometimes it happens that someone is born on 11th of any month, right? So someone born after 10th would have a double numeric date on which they will be born. For example, if someone born on 11 is a double numeric date in relation to someone born on the 3rd, which is a single numeric date, right? So whenever there is a double numeric date, we always come on to a single sum total of that double numeric number to take into account that number. So say someone born on the 11th of any month, so their ruling number for the date would be 1 plus 1, so 2, right? So say someone born on the 23rd of July 1986, so that double numeric number of date is 23rd. So we'll consider the number is the single numeric of this 23rd, that is 2 plus 3, that equals to 5. So that first part important is your date. So date would be considered to the single numeric number. If from 1 to 9, then directly will come to the single numeric number. Anything from 11 to 31, you will need to add up the sum of your that double numeric number and then to your main number. So that main number, that is your date, is one of the numbers that are considered as an indirect number. The second indirect number is the total of all your numbers. Say for example 3rd of July 1986, the totaling up 3, 7, 1, 9, 8, 6, which sums up to be 34. If you total up all these numbers, will sum up to be 34. Again over here, if this is a double numeric number that is being totaling up to, will bring it up to a single numeric number, that is 3 plus 4, 34. So 3 plus 4, that comes up to be 7. So 7 would be the second important number that they considered as the numeric number or the indirect numeric number that needs to be considered. But for the time being, we'll first of all look at the direct numbers. We'll leave aside the indirect number, that is just for the information's sake, we'll take it later. But right now what we'll look at it, the direct numbers that are coming in your date of birth. Okay, so when we look across anyone's date of birth, we need to take the direct numbers, fill in that directions which it falls across as explained before the 492, 357, 816. Look across all the directions, and interestingly you'll know as we go across, as we'll take some case studies, that the numbers that are specifically missing in any date of birth, you'll find that there will be a vastu dosh in that specific direction or the specific corner of the house. 90% or 95% there are chances that the person would be suffering with a vastu dosh or the attributes of that direction or the shortcomings of that direction, where the missing numbers are there or where they are not getting strengths from their number, and would be doing whatever good things they'll be doing in their life would be through the strong parts of the numbers that are present in the date of birth, right? So that will come across, guys. Thank you for today. Have a nice day. Looking all of you all forward for the next lecture. Thank you again.